Rudolph Speid, confirmed until 2027. Is the JFF missing a long-term vision for the Reggae Boyz? Join Premier 7 right now for the Big Chat. The poorest person on earth is not the person who has no money, no job, and no house. The poorest person is the one who has no vision. As Speid confirmed until 2027, is the JFF missing a long-term vision for the Reggae Boyz? JFF targets early 2027 for appointment for new Reggae Boyz coach. The Jamaica Observer can confirm that a new Reggae Boyz head coach will be appointed at the start of 2027, with Rudolph Speid set to remain in charge on an interim basis until the end of December. The decision was made during a recent Jamaica Football Federation JFF board meeting, where the technical committee recommended to extend the process to January to allow a thorough interview process of all applications. It means the search for a permanent head coach for the national senior men's team will extend to over 12 months following the resignation of Steve McLaren last November after Jamaica failed to qualify for the ongoing FIFA World Cup in USA, Mexico, and Canada. Now, with that news being shared, it is not a case to say that Rudolph Speid, quote unquote, will be in charge of Jamaica's men's national team next year. However, based on what we have seen as Reggae Boyz fans, whenever we thought or think that something new will be done, we see that the Jamaica men's national team decision from the JFF remains the same. And it is questionable to me, will Rudolph Speid even be given that chance to extend beyond 2026? Of course, keeping Rudolph Speid in charge is something that we have to accept as fans, because we cannot do anything about it. Seeing that Speid gets stability, but the big thing is, does Jamaica receive say? Keeping a coach can often be viewed as a vote of confidence. Coaches need time to build relationships with players, implement tactics, and develop a winning culture. For Speid, tactics is the biggest question mark. Teams ranking above, but nothing really has changed from the time of Steve McLaren. Yes, players were being recruited, but in terms of culture and style of play, from my personal observation, the football remains the same. So if the JFF believes Rudolph Speid is the right man for the job, then give him if it makes sense. To us, it doesn't make sense, or to most of us then, if I should say I am doing a poll and such, I believe most persons would say Rudolph Speid is not the man. And in this case, however, extending a coach should be only one part of a much bigger football strategy. Fans shouldn't only know who the coach is, they should know where Jamaican football is heading over the next 4 to 5 years. And this is where long-term vision exists. Where is the long-term vision? This is where many supporters like myself is asking such questions. What is Jamaica's football identity? Because for me personally, watching the under-17s, the under-20s, they look quite different from the senior team. And I know that in football, there should be a set style of play for the national program. We have seen such with France, we have seen such with Spain, we have seen such with Argentina, and the list goes on. But Jamaica seems to be flip-flopping. And this is the question about the long-term vision, because how will youth players transition into the senior team when then again the youth players are even performing better in their division than the senior team? Which overseas-based Jamaicans are priorities? Is it that Jamaica will end their pursuit in such, or they will start to utilize local-based players? That is something that we are still in question of, because having conversation with persons locally, they have said that, reflecting on the days of Reggae Boyz, he used to traverse through Jamaica and visit different areas of the grounds to watch local players and formulate teams using them. Yes, we got some overseas players thereafter, but the foundation was Jamaicans. And is it that Rudolph Speid is doing these type of things that Reggae Boyz was doing, or is it that ego was what was being done to get the job as the Jamaican coach? Then again, let's not go into that. And of course, what role does the Jamaican Premier League play? Because I think the Jamaican Football Premier League has dropped off. Back in the days when I used to support Harbourview, it was very much competitive. Harbourview was there, Waterhouse was there, Tivoli Gardens, Brownstown, and the list goes on. The football competition was more structured to me, or let's say it was betterly played. The players were more competitive, they had more substance in the sense of having a structured system or a better program of footballers who are hungry for the badge. Am I saying the players now are not good enough? It's not the case of that. But to me, the structure and the system of the league needs to be better. The teams that are being utilized is okay, but something has to be put in place to help those players become better and to transition into the national program, for which is the highest level in the country. And in this case, how will sports science, data analysis, scouting and player development improve? Is it that Jamaica lacking in those areas as well? Not to say only getting scouts, but persons who can even do data analysis and sports science in helping this player to be closer to what good footballers should have been, based on consistency in terms of good performances. Because when supporters cannot clearly answer those questions, it becomes easy to feel that decisions are being made one at a time instead of following one unified football plan. I spoke about the under-17s and under-20s playing different football from the senior team. And in that case, every successful football nation has a roadmap that survives even when coaches change. Right? So a vision is bigger than one coach, of course. So whether Rudolph Speid succeeds or not, Jamaica should already have a football philosophy that every national team follows. The under-17s, the under-20s, Olympic teams, and senior Reggae Boyz should all be working towards the same style of play and development module. That was what I basically brushed on a few seconds ago, because the Football Federation should also communicate measurable objectives. And is it that these things are even publicized, or is it that these things are even mentioned in the board meetings that they have? Or even if they are mentioned, are these executed? Because, for example, Jamaica football deserves to be improving, taking us up the FIFA rankings, of course, qualify consistently for major tournaments which we're not seeing, produce more homegrown internationals which we're not seeing, expand overseas coaching, strengthening youth academies, develop more local coaches. Are these things done? And is it that Rudolph Speid is a man to be thrown under the bus? Absolutely not. It is the JFF, the system of running the football. I think it lacks vision. And the thing is, Rudolph Speid is a man who then tries to put himself to help, but then again, he's not good enough to be even the head coach. So with those things listed before, these are the types of goals myself as supporters can look forward to, or is looking forward to see over a measurable time. Because without seeing these things, then our trust in the JFF remains in the garbage bin. So, of course, communication builds trust. Another area where fans often want improvement is communication. Supporters appreciate regular updates explaining why major football decisions are made. Transparency helps reduce speculations and build confidence between the federation and its fan base. And for sure, we are not getting these things. If we do get information or something communicated, it is not executed, it is not consistent. Transparency helps reduce speculation and builds confidence between the federation and its fan base. And that is something that applies right throughout this life that we're in. Because when supporters understand the directions of Jamaica football, they are usually more patient during difficult periods because they can see the bigger picture. Can Speed deliver? Now let's be fair, people. Rudolph Speed deserved opportunity to prove himself, and he was given that chance. Did he prove himself? Not necessarily. Of course, he do have experience in local football in JFF system, but I mean the success that he would have achieved is nothing close to what a top coach should have been, because the ultimate question that swings over Rudolph Speed head is tactics. He is not a tactician, and of course, I guess he needs support then from the federation, quality preparation, proper scouting, investment in the player development, and consistent planning. These things is something that any head coach would need. And would it be a good thing if Rudolph didn't even receive these resources? I think Rudolph Speid should not. Jamaica needs something better, a better coach who can build a culture, a system of play that can be replicated even by persons who are just playing regular football, because we would have seen what the national program is about. Of course, no coach can build a successful team alone. They need a system to assist, and even though Rudolph Speid is there, I think that Rudolph Speid has been given enough chances, not to cuss him, but I just believe that Jamaica football needs more than that. And if Rudolph Speid is the only person that we may be saying he's a problem, no. The JFF president, Mr. Michael Ricketts, is the bigger problem than Mr. Rudolph Speid. So of course, keeping Rudolph Speid until 2027 isn't necessarily a problem. The biggest problem, though, or the biggest discussion, is whether the Jamaica Football Federation has presented a clear football vision that extends beyond one coaching appointment. And years up on top of years, we have been lapsing with that. Well, they have been lapsing with that, because then again, a national football program should be built on long-term planning, youth development, transparency, and continuity, not simply reacting from tournament to tournament. Jamaica can combine coaching stability with a clear communicated football strategy, then the Reggae Boyz will have a much stronger foundation to compete consistently in Concacaf and on the world stage. So people, what do you think? Is extending Rudolph Speid's the right decision? Or does Jamaica football needs a clearer long-term vision? Let me know in the comment section. You always take care. Goodbye until we meet again.